ونسلم على رسوله الكريم अम्मा बाद। इंतहाई मोहतरम और मुकर्रम मेरे बुजुर्गों, नौजवान साथियों, my respected elders, the younger ones, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank each and every individual who is present here and those who will be joining on live with us. Inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. Today's program is quite important for many reasons. A, we will be talking about a pillar of Islam, and we'll try and understand that how it should be done in the correct manner, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. Without any further delay, let us begin our today's program with the tilawat of the Holy Quran. I would like to call Maulana Sharif Sahib to come forward and recite few verses of the Holy Quran, as well as bless us with the recitation of Qasida al-Burda, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله، فمن حج البيت أو اعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما، ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر، إن شانئك هو الأبتر. آمنت بالله، صدق الله العظيم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفارقين من عرب ومن نجم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل حول من الأحوال مقتحم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا، يا ربي مصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Jazakallah, Maulana. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa wala. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وأتموا الحج والعمرة لله صدق الله العظيم وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة صدق رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. Let us all recite Durud Pak in the holy court of our beloved Habib Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam with utmost love and respect all together. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina wa habibina wa shafi'ina wa tabibina wa tabibi qulubina wa maulana Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallam. If you look at the title we have kept is The Sacred Journey of a Lifetime. Why this journey is a lifetime journey? The reason is when a person goes for Hajj, not everyone can afford to go for Hajj every year or several times a year. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives an opportunity to a person to perform this great pillar of Islam, he should take it each and every time as the lifetime journey. So this is a lifetime journey for you and I, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, for those who are going and for those who will go in the future. It's a lifetime journey. And even if you look at the quota system now, this has become a lifetime journey. The quota they are giving to the European and UK, these countries, it has become something which will be once in a life. You can go, because next time you won't be able to get it. It looks like it. It may change later on. Again, we should take it as a lifetime journey, because when you go for Hajj, your intentions, your physical activity, your mindset, it has to be solely and it has to be purely belonging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the time when you start all the way till when you come back. It has to be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why is it so? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He stated, and this tamheed and this few words that I'm going to say, I'll keep it very brief. And today's dars will be longer than our usual weekly dars. At the end, inshallah, we'll have question answer session 2. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He Himself commanded His ibad and servants to perform Hajj and Umrah for the sake of Allah. وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ, and complete the Hajj and Umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for no one else. So if everything that we do in the life has to be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this lifetime journey, it has to be purely for Allah Azza wa Jal. So make the intention that I'm leaving from my house for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the first thing, that your mind has to be there. Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and this is a great pillar of Islam, that Quran and Hadith, they both have given the obligation of it. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam in Sahih Muslim, he stated, O people, Hajj has been made obligatory upon you. You must perform Hajj. Therefore, you perform Hajj. And the Hadith goes on. A companion, he stood up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, what do we have to do Hajj every year? And he kept asking. When he reached to third time, Prophet ﷺ said, if I say yes, then you'll have to do Hajj every year. So Hajj is compulsory for somebody who is physically and financially able to do so once in a lifetime. ज़िंदगी में एक मर्तबा साहिब इस्तिताअत पर हज फ़र्ज़ है, उसके बाद वो जितनी हज चाहे करे, उसकी फजीलतें हैं, लेकिन एक बार उसके ऊपर फ़र्ज़ है. What is the virtue? When a person goes for Hajj, what does he have in his mind? Just to fulfill the farz, obligation, or to attain these great virtues that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned in his hadith. If you look at the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the topic goes on. But one hadith which I have mentioned here, Sahih Muslim, he quoted this hadith narrating from Hazrat Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that Rasul Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam stated, Hajj removes the sins of the past. When you come back from Hajj, the tashri of this hadith and the commentary on this hadith is from another hadith, that the person, when he completes his Hajj, that person is as if he was born that day. उस दिन उसकी माँ ने उसको जन्म दिया, अल्लाह उसको गुनाहों से ऐसे पाक कर देता है. So Hajj is an amazing journey of a lifetime. What is the purpose and intention of Hajj? So as we know that every worship that we do, including Salah, including fasting in the month of Ramadan, if you want to have the impact of that ibadat on yourself and in your Nama Amal, in your register of deeds, what is the condition? The Rasul Pak alayhi salatu wasalam in very famous hadith of Bukhari and Muslim said, Innamal a'malu bin niyat. The actions, they depend on intention. If your intention is pure, even taking one step towards that journey will be earning you rewards. And if your intention is not pure, then even completing the journey will not get you anything. You'll come back and you'll have nothing in your deeds. Therefore, we have to be very precise when we intend for this great journey, that it is only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I come back, whether someone calls me Haji or Haji Sahab or not, it does not matter for you. What matters for me is I'm completing this journey for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So keeping the intention pure. Now imagine, Hadith Pak says, when a person intends to do something good, अच्छाई की जब बंदा किसी नेकी की नियत करता है, from that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts to write the reward. He commands the angels, write the reward for him. If you look at the process of Hajj nowadays, you have to register, then when you get the email, you have to go through choosing the packages, and it is a big hassle. Those who have done it, they know it. It's a big hassle. So from the time you register, you start to get reward. From the time you register and choose the packages and which one to do and what to do and all that stress that you go through, even on that stress, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you. So you have to keep that in mind, that I'm doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not leave me alone. How do you prepare? Yes, we prepare for the things that we need and we will need during the journey, including all the related stuff that we pack in our suitcases. But again, preparing yourself mentally and spiritually, that is very important. For a person who is very busy with his work, with his day-to-day life and the cycle that he has, to come out of that and dedicate his attention, his mind and heart to the spiritualism of this journey, it could be a bit difficult. But then when you start to prepare yourselves mentally and physically and spiritually, then you will know that this is for you. What happens during the Hajj of journey of Hajj? There will be fights, there will be queues, there will be a lot of waiting, and especially nowadays the way system works, you may have to wait for a few hours just to get to your hotel. When you get to your hotel, you might have to wait for a few hours just to get the room. When you get the room, you may not like the room and you have to go over it again. So all of these obstacles you have to have in your mind from now on. So what the Hajj will teach you is It's a journey of patience and tolerance. You have to have utmost sabr, and you have to have utmost patience. If you don't have it, Hajj will teach you, inshallah. Hajj will teach you that this is how a Muslim should be. Many times we'll see people, they're doing something wrong there. They're talking in certain ways. And the scholars, I was reading Bahari Shaykh, Allama Sadr Sharia, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala, he said that if you see someone doing something which you don't like, even in your heart, do not think ill of them. अपने दिल में भी उनके बारे में बुरा मत सोचना. Why? Why it is so important that even internal feelings of yours during the journey of Hajj are so important, because you are taking a journey of a lifetime. It's a journey which you may not get again. Therefore, you might see some people acting weird way. You might see some people you don't like. You might come across people who are harsh. You do not return and retaliate and take revenge from such people, because you are on a journey of Hajj. Why does this happen a lot though in the journey of Hajj? Imagine when we come to masjid, usually people are well behaved. People do not tend to fight. You will find, a couple of odd people who come and fight in the car park. Otherwise, inside the masjid, usually people are good. Why? Because we know that this is the house of Allah. We behave. Why is it that people in Haramain are so impatient? So scholars have written that Shaitan tries his best to make your Hajj void for you. And therefore people become impatient. Even on breakfast, on lunch, on buffet, they might be aggressive. When you go for Hajj, physically and mentally, you have to be preparing for this. Well, what we generally take with us, and usually people who go for Umrah, they already know it. You should take ihram with you. If you have 2 pairs, that's ideal, because in case you have to change your ihram. Now, one masala I would like to mention here, that once you put the ihram, you make the intention, and you are a muhrim. You are in the state of ihram. In case if you have to change your ihram, suppose ghusl become farz on you. You're sleeping, ghusl became farz on you. You can change the ihram, there is no sin in it. Obviously that ihram has become impure, you have to change it now. Therefore, keeping 1 extra ihram is always ideal. Having clothes that suits the weather, especially if you are in Muzdalifah, that's open field, you need to have something that can protect you. Having flip-flops. Why do we say flip-flops and not proper shoes? The reason is, when you are in ihram, in the state of ihram, certain parts of your feet, they have to be visible. And to be precise, if you look at your feet and you see this raised bone here, this raised bone has to be open. It shouldn't be covered with any sort of shoes, any socks or anything. So when you wear the flip-flop, they go around that bone. And therefore, you should use flip-flop and not the shoes which covers the upper part of your foot. Yes, if you have a couple of them, that's better. When you're visiting the masjid, many people think that I'll take my flip-flop there. If I lose them, I can pick up any. Whatever is there, I pick up and wear them. This is not allowed. This is classed as stealing. Why stealing? They don't belong to you. Your shoes, someone took it, they were yours. Now if you take someone's, which means you are stealing. So you shouldn't use anyone else's. Therefore, take few flip-flops. Miswak. Miswak is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. And the reason the scholars, they encourage to use miswak during Hajj, because to use any toothpaste which has a strong flavor, you are not allowed during the state of ihram to use such things. Any soap which has a strong flavor, a strong smell, any kind of shampoo which contains the fragrance, all of these things you cannot use during the ihram, during the state of ihram, during the days of Hajj when you are in ihram as well. Therefore, you should avoid that. The documents and I'm pretty sure that you guys must be quite aware of it. The documents, you should have them, as well as a copy. Take one with you, leave one copy with the households, people in your family. In case if something happens, they have everything, all the documents, they can locate you, they can inform people about you. Okay, sunglasses. Sunglasses are very useful in Haramain, because when it's very hot, daytime especially, and when you are in mataf, sometimes you can't even open your eyes. That's how bright it gets. So keeping sunglasses will help you. Necessary medication, if you have the prescription with you, that's ideal. In case if you lose your medication, you have the prescription, you can go to the pharmacy and you can speak to them, or you can speak to your doctor there. For sisters especially, all the toiletries which is important for them, they should keep them with you. Now moving on, putting ihram. Now many people, they find it uncomfortable to put the ihram from their house or from the airport. So usually they put it on flight, because Saudi airline, they have this space. You can use that space to put the ihram. Many people do wuzu on flight as well. They perform 2 rakats there too. What is the best and ideal way to put the ihram and make the intention for Hajj? So first of all, I'll quickly show you how to do the ihram in the best possible way. Inshallah. Salahuddin Bhai is there. If there is any adjustment, he can tell me. He's an experienced guy for Hajj. Ji. Suppose this is your ihram. When you are tying your ihram, what you should do, keep your legs wide. So if your legs are wide, then when you finish tying your ihram, you'll have enough space at the bottom. It will be open enough to walk properly. So if I stand like this normally and tie the ihram, so one side I can keep here. I can go around. Yes, so I fold it, the front bit, and then underneath I'll just fold it like this. Yes, this is, I find, the best way, because this side is covered all the way till here, and this side is coming all the way till here, and you have tied it. Now people use the belt as well. Using the belt, you have to have the correct intention then. What is the intention of using the belt? Every belt which comes for ihram, it has a pocket to keep either passports, some money, or any little documents that you may need. If a person is using the belt, because when you are in ihram, you'll not have any pouch or anything with you. You only will have that belt. If you use the belt with the intention to keep some money, keep, suppose, your phone, that is permissible, and that will help you in 2 ways. It'll keep the ihram in place, and you can keep the money using those pockets of that belt. So you can use that. So the best way, when you reach to the airport, keep a separate bag for ihram. When you reach to the airport, if it's, let's say, Heathrow, they have very good facility. You can do wuzu there. After you do the wuzu, put the ihram on. Once you put the ihram on, you can perform 2 rakats nafl if it's not makruh time. If it's makruh time, then leave it. If it's not makruh time, perform 2 rakats at the airport, and then you can get on your flight. So what you have to do, wuzu, put the ihram on, pray 2 rakats with the intention of ihram, that's it. Yet, you haven't done the intention. What you need to do now, because you have couple of hours or few hours until you cross the miqat. Miqat is the place before which you have to put the ihram and you have to make the intention. You have put the ihram now, you have to wait till that boundary, that miqat announcement is done on your flight. And usually they make the announcement quite like 20-30 minutes before. or sometimes an hour before that people do wuzu and they perform their 2 rakats, etc. Everything. The reason why I wouldn't advise you to pray nafl on the flight, because when you're on the flight, the condition to perform salah is you have to be on the ground, or whatever you are on, it has to be touching the ground. Therefore, if you pray 2 rakats nafil at the airport, that's the best ideal thing. You perform 2 rakats, and that's what you have to do. After putting ihram, you perform 2 rakats and get on the flight. Okay, how many people would be putting ihram at the airport? I think when you go for Hajj, you shouldn't have this worry that is it only me who is going to be in ihram or there will be many people. Don't worry about it. You are on a blessed journey. You put the ihram on and just think about your journey. Don't worry about other people, who is going to say what. That is none of our concern. So you pray 2 rakats when you in your flight, before the announcement of miqat. When they announce the miqat, that miqat is about to come and we are about to cross the miqat and boundary, then you make the intention for Hajj. Okay, what is the intention you are going to make now? Now this is quite important that you need to understand. You have several types of Hajj. You have Hajj Qiran, Hajj Tamattu' and Hajj Ifrad. Today we will mainly talk about Hajj Tamattu' because that's what we usually do. Very briefly I'll explain all three of them to make you understand what are these different types of Hajj. Hajj Qiran is when a person puts the ihram and he makes the intention for Umrah and Hajj together. So you put the ihram on the flight before miqat, you make the intention that, oh Allah, I am intending to perform Umrah and Hajj of this year. So 2 intentions together. What this Hajj is called? Hajj Qiran. What is it called? Hajj Qiran. What is Hajj Tamattu'? Hajj Tamattu' is very easy. You make the intention before miqat only for Umrah. What is the intention? Allah, I am intending to perform Umrah of your house. Okay, this is the intention for Hajj Tamattu'. Now, how does this become Hajj then? Because you only intended for Umrah. So the intention for Mutamatti for Hajj would be on 8th of Zulhajj. When the Mutamatti will do the intention for Hajj? 8th of Zulhajj. In the morning, he'll do the Hajj intention. Until then, he reaches to Makkah, performs Umrah, comes out of Ihram, and is free till 8th of Zulhajj, if that makes sense. What is Ifrad then? Now, Hajj Ifrad is mainly for the locals. Within Miqat, those who live, for them, they can do Hajj Ifrad. What is the intention for Hajj Ifrad? Oh Allah, I am going to perform Hajj for your sake. So they don't have to do intention for Umrah. They don't need to perform Umrah. Rather, they would just make the intention for Hajj. These are 3 types of Hajj. But in general, people like you and I, when we go for Hajj, what type of Hajj we perform? Hajj Tamattu'. What do we perform? Hajj Tamattu'. Which means when you are on the flight and you are making the intention, or if you have stopped over and you are making intention from there, the intention will be, Allah, I am going to perform Umrah. Make it easy for me and accept it. This is the intention you make. Once you make the intention, after intention immediately you should say Talbiyah. What do you need to say? Talbiyah. So at the airport, you put the ihram, pray 2 rakats, you go on the flight. Before miqat, you made the intention of Umrah. After the intention, you have to say Talbiyah at least once. How many times? At least once. And then, if someone says 3 times, that's even better. He gets sawab of that. Once you done the Talbiyah, now you have become Muhrim. What you have become? Muhrim. At the end, we will understand who is Muhrim and what sort of boundaries he has to observe, what he can do and what he can't do. At the end, we'll look at that. So, this is the easiest way that you get on flight and you are on your journey to Hajj. Is this easy to understand? Yes? Okay. What do you do when you reach to Makkah then? Suppose you have reached Makkatul Mukarramah, subhanallah, what a journey. You are in the city of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are in the city of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he was born, in Makkatul Mukarramah. The first thing you need to do, you don't rush that how soon can I complete my Umrah and get out of Ihram, because you lose that momentum and you lose that, the joy of Umrah, going around the Kaaba, doing Safa and Marwa, Sa'i of Safa and Marwa. Suppose you are hungry and you decide, I want to complete my Umrah first so I can get out of Ihram. Trust me, you will not enjoy. Suppose you are very, very tired, you barely can walk, and you decide, or the group decides, we want to go for Umrah and complete it, you won't enjoy it. So first thing, get settled, get some rest if needed. If you are hungry, eat. Don't eat too much, because then it's hard to do Umrah and Tawaf. Don't eat too much. Have some meal if you like. If you need some rest, some tea, coffee, do everything dunyawi which is needed for a body and for your mind. Do that. Once you are settled and your mind and your heart is ready to visit the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then get ready. Yes? Now Umrah is very easy. Many of you must have been several times, so I won't take much time on this. What is the method of Umrah? So again, you are still in the state of Ihram. Last time when I went for Umrah, I came across someone who went for Umrah. It took them a bit longer to get their room and get their hotel. They got out of Ihram and they put their normal clothes and everything. They said, we couldn't wait. This will make them compulsory on you. You do not get out of Ihram without performing the Umrah. You'll have to do the Qaza anyway, because you can't get out of Ihram without performing the Umrah, because you made the intention, you have to complete it. So you'll remain in the state of Ihram, you eat everything that you need to do, you can rest as well. If you need to have a shower, suppose you feel that you need the shower, you can remove your Ihram and you can have shower as well. There is nothing wrong in taking shower, removing Ihram, because if you are taking shower and removing Ihram, that doesn't mean you are coming out of Ihram. It's just you cleaning yourself, and that is perfectly fine. What is the method of Umrah? First thing, you prepare yourself. Nowadays there are, I think, only 1 or 2 entrances from which you can go and enter in the state of Ihram, and you can reach to the Mataf. When I went, some time ago, when they had restrictions, I was in Ihram, I didn't know which gate to use. I thought everything is fine, just like before. And I entered in Masjid and I reached on first floor. And I had to do Tawaf and complete my Umrah using first floor. It was very difficult then. But again, it's rewarding. But if you are in the state of Ihram, you'll see many people who are in the state of Ihram going in the Masjid, and if you follow them, you'll find the path. It's next to Babi Fahad, as far as I remember. Bab Abdul Aziz, Bab Fahad, Bab Abdul Aziz, and then the entrance for the people who are in Ihram. So when you enter from there, it will take you straight to Mataf. There is an elevator to take, and you go down and you reach to Mataf. Now what is Mataf? Mataf is the area where the Holy Kaaba is. That's the same floor. You can reach as close as you want. That's where Mataf is. Now scholars, they have mentioned that when you are entering in the Masjid Haram, keep your gaze lowered and enter in the Masjid Haram as you are a mujrim, you are a criminal who is coming in front of their Lord, and feel that today Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to forgive you. This is the faith you should have when you go and visit the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not take this lightly. This is the place that Anbiya before and our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they went around. They did tawaf of that place. They visited the same place. This is the place which was rebuilt by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and you are called by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you enter, this is the first time you are going to enter in the Masjid al-Haram. Lower your gaze. When you look at the Kaaba, there are prescribed du'as. If you have the book of dua, then do so, read from there. If not, then whatever your heart says. What could be a better teacher than your heart? Whatever feelings you have in your heart, express that in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looking at the holy Kaaba. And then the flow of people will be going around. You start to join the flow. You'll reach at the corner where the Hajri Aswad is. Now what is the sign? Nowadays there is a green light, LED light on the right hand side of Masjid. So this is Holy Kaaba. On this side you'll see the wall of Masjid, and one of the corner where the Hajri Aswad is, you'll see the green LED light. That's where Hajri Aswad is. When you begin your tawaf, there are two things. The first thing, you have to make the intention of tawaf. So you have done the intention for Umrah on your flight. Now you are going to do tawaf. So you make the intention for tawaf, that, oh Allah, I am intending to do the tawaf of this holy house. Make it easy for me and accept it. This is the simple intention. Even if you do it in your heart, that is sufficient. Once you make the intention, then you have to do either istilam of Hajri Aswad or going close to Hajri Aswad and kissing it physically. Nowadays, it is very difficult unless you push people and then get close to Holy Kaaba, which is not advised. To kiss the Hajri Aswad, pushing another Muslim is not the way. So therefore, istilam, you raise your hands, yes, looking towards the Hajri Aswad, that corner of Kaaba. You may be able to see Hajri Aswad, you may not be, depending on the crowd. And then you kiss your hands and you start, your left hand side would be on towards the Kaaba. Now, before you start, one more thing that you have to remember, your right shoulder should be open. So, suppose this is your ihram that you have placed. Many people, before they even enter in the masjid, they open their shoulder. This is unnecessary. You should be covering yourself. When you are about to start your tawaf, then what you do, this right side of your ihram, take it underneath and put it up. So now your right shoulder is open. This is called iztiba. Iztiba means keeping the right shoulder open all 7 rounds. Okay. Now iztiba is done. Then the first 3 rounds that you do, you should do ramal. What is ramal? You know, sometimes people, when they get out of gym after workout, how they walk? Like Pehlwan, you know, somebody is strong physically, like that. So for first 3 rounds, out of 7, first 3 rounds, you have to do ramal. All 7 rounds, you have to do istiba. So istiba is for 7 rounds, and ramal is only for 3. Not for women though, only for men. Okay. Once you complete your 7 rounds, now one little detail I would like to add, each time when you reach to Hajri Aswad, that corner, you are completing 1 circle. 7 circles make 1 tawaf. Yes? 7 circles make 1 tawaf. Each time you complete a circle and reach to Hajri Aswad, you should do istilam, raising your hands and kissing them. This is the meaning of istilam. If someone doesn't, suppose, it doesn't harm the tawaf, but this is a mustahab way to do so. Once you completed your tawaf, you'll see Maqam Ibrahim. Maqam Ibrahim, you must have seen in photos. It's a place where that stone upon which Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he built, using that stone, he built the Holy Kaaba. That stone is preserved there. It has the footsteps of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Behind there, if you find the space right behind, which is, I don't think is possible. Behind there, anywhere in the masjid, if you find the space, you'll see many people, they are praying, and they have dedicated some space behind there. You can pray. If not in mataf, you can go a bit behind in the masjid and pray 2 rakats. Now, these 2 rakats which you are praying, istiba is done now. You can close your shoulder. Now, these 2 rakats that you'll be praying, these are wajib namaz of tawaf. What is it? Wajib namaz of tawaf. If it's not makruh time, then you pray. If it's makruh time, then you can pray later on. So you pray 2 rakats, nafl, the way we pray any nafl. Once you complete these nawafil, then you go and have zamzam. Drink zamzam as much as you can. Rasulullah ﷺ stated that the difference between a munafiq and a mu'min is, when a mu'min drinks zamzam, he drinks with stomach full. He completely quenches his thirst using the water of zamzam. Munafiq cannot do that. Munafiq cannot drink water of zamzam that much. This is Rasulullah ﷺ stated. You have certain du'as before you drink zamzam. You should pray those du'as too. Okay, once you drank zamzam, now the advisory from the scholars and our Buzurgan Deen is you come to multazam. Now, multazam is the part between the door of Kaaba and the corner in which the door of Kaaba is. You come there. If you get the place in between to touch the holy Kaaba and make dua, you should do so. If you can't do that, there is no problem. You can move to Safa and Marwa. Now, where is Safa and Marwa nowadays? Where the taps of Zamzam are, you come out from there, look on your left, you will see the sign of Safa and Marwa. Or it says Mas'a. In Arabic, it says Mas'a, the place to do Safa and Marwa, Sa'i. Now you do Sa'i. Sa'i is quite easy, straightforward. You walk and run from Safa to Marwa and Marwa to Safa. You have to do 7 rounds. Now these 7 rounds, how are they counted? From Safa to Marwa is 1, Marwa to Safa is 2, and then likewise. So you will start from Safa and you will end on Marwa. Your 7th round will end on Marwa. When you are doing Sa'i, you will see the light, green light in between. It's called Milaini Akhdarain, 2 green lights. Now, in between them, to run is prescribed only for men, not for women. Many women, they try and do that to compete. There is no competition there. It is advised for men only. This is done. Once you do that, you have only one thing remained. This is for mutamatti', to do halaq or taqsir. Halaq means completely shaving your head. You cannot shave your own head. It has to be done by someone who is not in ihram. Likewise, for women, her hair equivalent to, let's say, pura, Urdu mein hum pura kehte hain. Yes? So usually what they do, they wrap around it and they cut that much hair. This is how much women needs to do, not having full, straightening their hair and cutting them. That is not advised. Once you do halaq or taqsir, if someone they don't want to do halaq, they want to do taqsir, at least a quarter of your hair from all around, they need to be removed. Once you've done that, you can come out of ihram, your umrah is completed. For mutamatti' now, if you reach to Makkah al-Mukarramah early, you have completed your umrah, you have come out of your ihram now. What to do now? You have few days to wait for Hajj. So the scholars, they have mentioned that the time that you have now is very valuable. This time you should not spend in shopping, visiting people. Oh, so and so from India or so and so from Pakistan have come, let me go and visit. You can visit them some other time. This time you have in Makkah al-Mukarramah is the best time. Use this time to do tawaf, nafl tawaf as much as possible. So the prescribed ibadat during your stay is to do nafl tawaf. As many as you can. You can do tawaf on behalf of your parents, even if they are alive. You can do tawaf on behalf of those who passed away, your grandparents. If your parents have passed away, you can do tawaf on behalf of all of them. This is basically sending the reward of your nafl ibadat to them. Farz ibadat you cannot do for anyone else unless it's Hajj badal. But tawaf on behalf of someone, it can be done. Spend your time in Haram Sharif. We have seen many people, they try and find, those outlets, franchises like Five Guys and KFC and all of these. And believe me, especially people from UK, if you are passing by, in Medina Sharif I've seen, if you are passing by KFC, you'll see long queue and all of them are from here. Yes? The first thing is, I'm not certain whether it's halal or not. Ask any scholar, not only Sunni. Ask any scholar and ask them, is KFC in Medina, all these outlets, are they halal or not? If they give you the guarantee, by all means queue up. Otherwise, you spend your time in Masjid al-Haram. Look at Kaaba. Even if you get on the first floor, go on the first floor, sit in front of Kaaba, pray Durood Sharif, send salawat upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ask Allah for whatever you want. You are in front of Kaaba. You are in the most holiest place. Why would you waste your time? Another way is that people waste their time is they never come off their social media. Even when they are in Umrah or Hajj, they are still on their social media. You'll find their Instagram, you'll find all these posts which are full. Nobody's interested in what are you doing in Umrah unless you post pictures. They only use it as the entertainment. So why waste your time? Put your phone away. Unless you really need to contact someone, then use the phone. Otherwise, leave the phone wherever it is. This time will not come again. In Makkatul Mukarramah, during your stay, while you're waiting for the days of Hajj, you have many ziyarat. The first thing, the birthplace of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you look at Babul Marwa, if you get out from Babul Marwa, you'll find at the end of that ground, there's a maktaba. Maktaba Makkatul Mukarramah. That maktaba, the scholars say that is a place, in that maktaba there is a point where the exact birthplace of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born there. It was the house of Hazrat Abdullah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Jannatul Mu'alla, many great personalities including Hazrat Sayyidah Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha, the greatest woman in the Islamic history and the first wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She is resting there. Visit that place, pray Fatiha and send salam upon her, because we have great ihsan that she has done upon us in propagating Islam. Cave of Hira, where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam attained the first wahi. Hazrat Jibreel came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I visited some time ago, one of the guide who was taking us there, he said that before all these buildings were built, why did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose that place, Cave of Hira, to isolate himself? And he said that before all these buildings were built, from the Cave of Hira, there was a point where you can see the Holy Kaaba directly. From that top point, you can see the Holy Kaaba. And presumably, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was looking at the Holy Kaaba whilst he was isolating from the rest of the world. So that's the blessed city you are in. Now the days of Hajj come. So the main days of Hajj are starting from 8th of Zulhajj till 11th and 12th. What should you do the first day of Hajj? 8th of Zulhajj, you put your ihram, Fajr time, wake up early, prepare yourself, make sure you have had enough rest. Durood Sharif पढ़ लें. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. So make sure you rest enough. So during the day, the rituals you are going to do, you are not tired for them. You are not dragging. So rest properly at night. Wake up early in the morning. Put your ihram on 8th of Zulhajj. Now, Huzur Sadhu Sharia, he writes that at that time, whilst you are in Ihram, if you go to Masjid Haram on 8th of Zulhajj, go to Masjid Haram, perform tawaf in the state of Ihram, and after the tawaf, do the sa'i. What you have to do? Tawaf and sa'i both in the state of Ihram on 8th of Zulhajj at Fajr time, early morning. The reason he says that when the last day of Hajj would be, when 10th of Zulhajj would come, and you'll have to do tawaf-e-ziyarat. Now, tawaf-e-ziyarat is one of the pillar of Hajj, one of the very important part of Hajj. If a person does not do tawaf-e-ziyarat, or he does less than 4 circles out of tawaf-e-ziyarat, then his Hajj is not accepted. After tawaf-e-ziyarat, one has to do sa'i to Safa and Marwa. But if this sa'i is done on 8th of Zilhajj, so when you are about to intend for Hajj, that day you woke up, put ihram on, and you went to mataf, did tawaf, and after tawaf you did the sa'i. On the day when you do tawaf-e-ziyarat, 10th of Zulhajj, you don't need to do sa'i then. They will save you a lot of time, they will save you a lot of energy as well, because it gets very busy. Everyone wants to do tawaf-e-ziyarat, and then they want to do sa'i. Therefore, 8th of Zulhajj, perform ghusl, fajr time, put the ihram on. If you are putting ihram on, can you put itar on? Now the sunnah of Rasulullah is that Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, she would prepare the ihram of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So before Rasulullah would put the ihram on, Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa would put some fragrance and some itar on the ihram. So this is sunnah. Before you put the ihram on, lay it on the bed, put itar on, and then put the ihram on. It will give you good fragrance, as well as once you make the intention, you can't use any fragrance then. Therefore, you can do this beforehand. You go to Masjid Haram, you pray 2 rakats then. So once you're done with tawaf, sa'i, pray 2 rakat nafl, and then make the intention for Hajj now. When you left your country, what was the intention you made? Umrah. Your Hajj intention for mutamatti is now. You make the intention for Hajj that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am making the intention to perform the Hajj of this year. Make it easy for me and accept it for me. Once you done that, then you do talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Now, for Haji, the best zikr in his journey throughout, until the 10th of Zulhajj, until his Rami is done, until he will do the stoning, his best wazifa is talbiyah. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Because these words are very powerful. You are actually talking to your Lord. You are telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, I am present. And if you read the fazail of labbaik, Rasulullah has mentioned enormous fazail. We may take this tasbih very lightly. People are sitting in the cars and praying this tasbih. People are walking and praying this tasbih. People are walking towards Arafat and Mina and Muzdalifah and praying this tasbih. But this is very powerful. Now, what you have to do 8th of Zulhajj, you have to reach to Mina before Zuhr Salah. Now generally this is done in groups. Whichever group you'll go with, they will guide you how to reach there, transportation or walking. But walking, doing Hajj by foot is very rewarding. The scholars have mentioned that a person who does Hajj on his foot, according to Hadith, he gets rewarded millions for each step that he takes. Rewarding millions for each step that he takes. And the total that scholars have done, I don't have the number in my mind right now, but it is in trillions, not even billions, the reward for doing Hajj by walking. So if you are young, you are strong and you can do so, try and do that. When you reach to Mina, you settle down in your tents, you have Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha to perform there. So Zuhr, Asr and Maghrib, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha of 8th of Zulhajj, you are going to perform in Mina. What should you do whilst you are there? Most of the time, you should spend in tasbih, zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because these are the places which are prescribed by Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be in. When we are in the blessed places. These are the places where Anbiya, they visited. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he took Ismail alayhi salam for the sacrifice to that place. Therefore, these are blessed place. We shouldn't waste our time there. So each and every moment in those places should be spent in zikr and fikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So 8th of Zulhajj, you have completed now. You move to 9th of Zulhajj. I'm not taking too long with these days because these are mostly done as a group, and you'll know in general what you'll be doing there. On 9th of Zulhajj, you are still in Mina, so you'll be praying Fajr Salah, and after Fajr Salah, wait for sunrise, because Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam has been mentioned in the Hadith Pak that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did this way. Once sun has risen, then you'll be leaving for Arafat. When you reach to Arafat, now today on 9th of Zulhajj, you'll remain in Arafat until sunset. You'll perform Zuhr and Asr in their own time, not combining. So Zuhr and Asr in their own time in Arafat. Now what is Arafat? Arafat is a very blessed place. It's a place where there is Jabal-e-Rahmat. Jabal-e-Rahmat is being mentioned that Hazrat Adam alayhi salam's tawbah was accepted there. Now, we have many people, they climb on the mountain and they do all sorts of posing and pictures. It's not the place to go and pose there and take photos. It's a place to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a place to ask for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness. It's a place where you can remember Hazrat Adam and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. So on 9th of Zulhajj, you'll remain until Asr namaz. So you'll pray Zuhr and Asr in its time and wait for sunset. Yes? When the sunset happens, after sunset, it's Maghrib time now. You don't need to pray Maghrib in Arafat. You have to wait. After sunset, you leave from Arafat and you go to Muzdalifah. You go to Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, if you reach early, suppose that you reach to Muzdalifah and it's still Maghrib time, you still have to wait till Isha time starts. In Muzdalifah, then you will pray Maghrib and Isha in the time of Isha with 2 Jamaat, right? So Jamaat, if Imam is there and you're doing Jamaat with the Imam, with 2 Jamaat, 1 Azan, 2 Iqamat and 2 Jamaat. That's how Maghrib and Isha will be combined in Muzdalifah. What else you have to do in Muzdalifah? You'll be spending that night in Muzdalifah, as well as if you think they are dirty, it's mustahab, and then save them. If you pick up some extra, that's even better. So in case if you miss when you are stoning, you can use the spare ones. Okay, so Muzdalifah day 9 is done. Now the 10th of Zulhajj comes. Now in 10th of Zulhajj, first thing is you'll perform Fajr Salah in Muzdalifah, and then you leave for Mina just before sunrise. Perform Fajr just before sunrise. You remain in Zikr, and all of these places, there is no time to waste. There is no time to chit chat. There is no time to make groups and sit down and talk. You leave for Mina. Now you already been to Mina. You're going back again. Now what you have to do in Mina? The first thing you need to do is, it's called Rami. Rami of Jamarat. So there are 3 Jamarat. Yes. Today you are going to do Rami of the biggest one. The big pillar or big shaitan, if we may say, you are going to do Rami of that one. Now what is Rami? Rami is the sunnah of Rasulullah as well as sunnah of Hazrat Ibrahim. It's been mentioned that when Hazrat Ibrahim was taking Hazrat Ismail to sacrifice, Shaitan came to him and he tried 3 times to stop him and divert his mind to something else. Those were the 3 places where Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he beat Shaitan, and he did not listen to him, and he carried on with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded him. And we still continue the sunnah of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Once you done the stoning, how many times? 7 pebbles you'll use, and if you can get close, as close as possible, that's better. So close that you do not miss that pebble from falling into that circle that they have made. In case if you do rummy and any of your pebble is lost and you are unsure about whether it has reached or not, then use the other one and complete 7. What if somebody has 7 in one hand and throws all 7 together? Make the life easy. Yes, this will be counted as only 1. So you have to use 7 pebbles, one after another. Yes, not hitting someone, not missing the area where it should be, and you should do that. This rummy of only one big pillar, Jamre Aqba, needs to be done. Once you done that, as soon as you do this, you have to stop the talbiyah. You don't do labbaik Allahumma labbaik anymore. Until here, talbiyah was good, talbiyah was prescribed. Once you done the rami of big shaitan on 10th of Zulhajj, that is done, and no talbiyah will be done. What is next? Qurbani. In general, nowadays the system would be that it is not included in the package, as far as I know, Yasir Bhai. It's not in the package, so you have to arrange it beforehand. When you arrange it, they will give you the time, and you'll know when your Qurbani is done. Now this Qurbani is not the Qurbani that people back home will be doing. People will be doing here. It's a Qurbani of Hajj. It's a Qurbani of Shukrana for Haji. For Mutamatti and for Qarin, this is wajib. They have to do this Qurbani. Now you go back to Makkah. When you go back to Makkah, what you have to do now, after Qurbani, you can remove your hair, you can shave your head. If you have no hair, suppose you have shaved it already for Umrah, no hair left, still to go over with a razor is necessary. If somebody who does not have any hair naturally, they are bald, they still have to go over it just to perform the ritual. This is necessary. Once you've done that, you can come out of Ihram, you go back to Makkatul Mukarramah, and now the biggest part of Hajj, which is Tawaf-e-Ziyarat. You have to do Tawaf-e-Ziyarat. Once you complete Tawaf-e-Ziyarat, if you have done Sa'i, as I mentioned before, on 8th of Zulhajj, when you put the Ihram of Hajj, you don't need to do Sa'i now. If you haven't done that Sa'i, then you will have to do Sa'i after Tawaf-e-Ziyarat. This will complete your 10th of Zulhajj ritual. You go back to Mina now, and you spend the time there. What is left now? Very simple. On 11th and on 12th, both of the days, you have to do the same thing. So on 10th of Zulhajj, what you have done the rami of only one shaitan, the big one. The next 2 days, you have to do the rami of all 3 pillars, all 3, the big one, the middle one, and the small one. So on 11th of Zulhajj, you will still remain in Mina, stone all 3 pillars with 7 stones each. So you'll be using 21 pebbles in total. This should be done between Zuhr and Maghrib time. This is the prescribed time. If somebody who is suppose weak, somebody who is old, and they cannot take this crowd, they can go earlier and do that. If there are women who are weak, they can go later as well and do that. Okay, how do you start now? Because on 10th of Zulhajj, you started with the big one, and then you went for Qurbani. On 11th of Zulhajj, you start with the small one, and then you go to the middle one, and then you end on the big one. This is on day 11. Day 12, exactly the same process. You repeat it on the way you did on 11th, and then once you done that, once you done the rami of 11th, 12th, you should leave for Makkah before sunset. What is the time to leave Makkah? Before sunset of 12th of Zulhajj. This was your last day in terms of performing your ritual in Mina. You leave before sunset. Suppose if someone couldn't leave before sunset, it was too crowded, transportation didn't come, and Maghrib time came. Now they have to stay. Next day, on 13th of Zulhajj, they have to do Rami again, same way that they did. 11th and 12th, they have to do on 13th too, because they did not leave before sunset. If you leave before sunset, you reach to Makkatul Mukarramah, there you go, your Hajj is completed. You should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've gathered here some very important, because there are so many which could be relevant in today's day and age as well. Some of things which are very necessary to know for those who are going for Hajj, for a Muhrim. The things that he or they cannot do. So what a person cannot do when he is in the state of Ihram. Now, state of Ihram is counted when you make the intention. If you have put the Ihram on from the airport and you get on the flight, you are not in Ihram yet. When you make the intention before Miqat comes, then all of these boundaries will be on you. So what a person cannot do, any physical relations with one's spouse or talking about it. A person cannot have any physical relation, cannot kiss the wife, cannot embrace the wife with all the intention of suppose a physical relation. We cannot clip our nails, or nor other person can clip the nails of someone else. Suppose the mother decides to clip the nails of their child. If the child is baligh and in ihram, you can't do that. Using itr, perfume, or consuming any raw herbs which have strong flavors. Suppose ginger, garlic, or any dry spices. Some of the dry spices are very strong. Some people have habit of chewing elaichi, yes, cardamom. This is not permissible when you are in the state of ihram. If they are cooked, suppose a food comes in front of you and they are cooked, then there is no problem. If they are raw, then you cannot consume them. Using itr or perfume, so there could be a little detail to it. That suppose people are doing bakhur. For a muhrim, he shouldn't take bakhur because it is not allowed for him. He should avoid it in the state of ihram. People do that a lot. Suppose you are in ihram and visiting the perfume shop. You can't really do that because you won't be able to put it on yourself, and you shouldn't be intentionally smelling it. So you should avoid it. Cutting or plucking hair on any part of the body. If somebody has the habit of doing this or doing that, for muhrim, they have to avoid it, because the moment you do that, this could cost you a few pounds, a sadaqah, yes? And therefore, cutting or plucking the hair should be avoided. Likewise, when you are doing wuzu and you have to wash your beard, or you have to do the masa, you shouldn't be very aggressive about it, because many of your hair will come out, and if there are so many, you might have to pay the sadaqah on each. So one should be careful about their hairs when they are in ihram. Covering the face, men or women, they cannot cover their face when they in the state of ihram. So even when you go to sleep, your face has to be uncovered. If you have habit of going to sleep with covering your face with cloth or something, in the state of ihram, you should not do that. Can you use eye patches? You know, the eye patches that you have. You cannot, because they have stitches. Anything which is stitched, you cannot use them. What can a woman do then if they want to do parda or they do hijab? They do veil. What can they do? In front of ghair mahram, if she uses something that can cover her, like what do we call, cardboard or something around, or the scholars have mentioned a pankha. Nobody uses pankha nowadays. The hanfan, no one uses them. Anything that can cover her face from the person, she can do that, but not using the veil. Wearing shoes and slippers that cover the raised bone in the middle of the foot. As I mentioned, that during the ihram, one should only use the flip-flops because that's the best and ideal footwear in the state of ihram. One cannot wear hand gloves or socks or any stitched clothes. This is for men. Obviously, ihram, those two pieces are only for men. They are not for women. So women will be in their full clothes. They can wear any clothes they would like in the state of ihram, and the only thing they have to keep it open is they cannot cover their face in the state of ihram. So these are some of the things which I thought should be included. If you have any question, by all means you can ask. We'll take few minutes to look at what is next, and then we'll conclude on question and answer, inshallah. Once you have completed your Hajj, if you have been either before Hajj to the Madinatul Munawwara, or you are going to go and visit Prophet ﷺ after, whichever way, a person who is a mu'min and who is a true believer, without any genuine reason, he cannot go to Makkah and avoid Medina unless he's a munafiq. If someone makes an excuse and tells you, I did my Hajj and I came back, he had time, he had resources to visit the city of Rasulullah ﷺ, and still he didn't do it, you can check his iman from his behavior. Iman we received with the wasila of Prophet. The farziyat of Hajj came via Rasulullah ﷺ. How to do Hajj, we learned from Rasulullah ﷺ. Doing all of that, but then visiting Rasulullah ﷺ is not important. So Hajj is important, but visiting the one who taught you how to do Hajj, you think it's not important? So it is at most important to visit Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Even till today, you will see that hadith written when you are walking towards the Jali Mubarak of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, man zara qabri wajabat lahu shafa'ati, that anyone who visited my grave, my shafa'at and intercession becomes compulsory on him. He will be interceded by Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. The greatest place on the earth. The scholars, they have written, like Qazi Iyas al-Maliki rahmatullahi ta'ala, and many other scholars, they have said that what is the best place of the earth, best part of the earth. So they said, even greater than Kaaba, the part of the earth which is attached to the blessed body of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam right now is the best and great part on the earth. So you are visiting the great place. Even those who say you can't say Ya Rasulullah, they say when you are in Medina paying respect to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, pray Durood Sharif and say As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, or Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. And we believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is listening. Although we can't hear the reply, our amal and our status is not such. We are sinners that we hear the reply of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who could, they did. And they have heard the reply from Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. During your stay in Medina, many people get very relaxed, and so relaxed that they forget that they are in the city of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So even when you are in the city of Medina, yes, it is very relaxing than Makkatul Mukarramah, but the adab and respect has to be even more than Makkatul Mukarramah. Sayyidina Imam Malik rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, when he moved to Madinatul Munawwara, he stopped wearing his shoes. He wouldn't wear his shoes. And when he had to use, to relieve himself, he would go outside of the boundaries of city. And then he would come back. This is the adab that our great scholars, they have taught us. So we should realize that the city that you are walking in, the masjid that you are walking in, and the streets that you are walking in, perhaps Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam must have walked in these streets and in this city, and therefore adab is very, very important. Every day, several times, pay visit to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now there is a system especially for Riyazul Jannah. You have to have the app, you have to book it, and then according to your time and slot, you can visit Riyazul Jannah. So make sure you all have your phones and you are registered to that. So many of those things you can do on the app, and it will be easy for you, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Any question, please feel free to ask. Ji. Wa alaikum assalam.
My question was, when I Hajj with my wife.
Just a minute. It's not connecting. Ji.
So, my name is Mufaruk. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm going to Hajj with my wife, and
Ji.
it's just me and her.
Ji.
Now I know that you mentioned without any undue stress on any other intention,
Ji.
only with your wife, to hold a hand.
Yeah, that's bilkul, absolutely fine, yes.
One other question that a lot of people and a lot of my friends who are traveling to have
Ji.
asked me is the use of toothpaste.
Ji.
Now, some have said that there is things out there without fragrance or without anything. I'm taking a miswak personally,
Ji. Ji.
but my question to you as our Imam, is it permissible to use
Ji.
toothpaste?
So, two questions brother asked. Suppose if there is only a couple, husband and wife, they are going for Umrah, they are in the state of Ihram, they may have, because there are a lot of people, possibility of losing. So in that case, holding the hand is fine because the intention is the main thing, plays the part. So you can hold the hand as a safety and security. Use of toothpaste, because most of the toothpaste, they have some sort of flavor in them, a fragrant which is very, you can taste and you can smell it too. Therefore, it should be avoided. If you can find any toothpaste which does not have that, yes, to use that shouldn't be a problem. But the best thing is, my advice would be, if a person is going for a few days on such a journey and spending so much money, and the best thing is to avoid all those actions which may put him in doubt whether my Hajj is accepted or not. That's the best thing a person should do.
I've got one more question, Mohasab.
Ji.
You mentioned the Nusuk system.
Ji.
Now, I'm a qualified doctor by profession,
Ji.
and it took it out of me as well, just to be a host for Allah
Ji.
in Makkah this year. Now, I'm Sunni to the T. I've been coming to this mosque since it was built,
Ji. Ji.
and so has my father. But the package I got didn't allow me to go Medina first.
Okay.
It allowed me to go to Medina after.
After Ji.
But that is what I got. I was upset by it because I wanted, well, my mother, who's passed, always used to say, go Medina first,
Ji. Ji.
then to Makkah.
Ji.
But now it's become the other way. I'm accepting what Allah has given me.
Ji. Ji.
I am going to be going to Medina after. Is that okay?
Okay, so should a person go to Medina Sharif first or to Makkah al-Mukarramah first? This is more about preference, to be honest. Some people and some scholars, they have said that.
I didn't want to cancel the package.
Ji. No, I can imagine. It's very hard to get hold again. Ji. The scholars who mention that one should go to Medina first, because they say you go to Medina, you get yourself clean, and with the shafa'at and with the wasila of Prophet ﷺ, and then go to Makkah. Also get the ijazat from Prophet and then go to Makkah. Then you have some scholars who do mention that going Makkah, getting everything done, no stress in your mind about, oh, I have to go for Umrah. Then you go to Medina, you'll have more peace in Medina, that this is the destination now, and then I'm going home. So there's no restrictions in whether a person should go to Makkah first or Medina first. Whatever is available and whatever is more suitable for a person, they should do. If you prefer to go to Medina to Munawwara first, you should do so. But in this case, where everything is determined and decided by them, as I was talking recently with Yasir by that, including your aeroplane, your flight, time of flight, hotel, when will you reach, and when you leave for Medina, how many days in Makkah and Medina, all decided by them. We have no say in that. So hopefully you will enjoy, inshallah, though.
I have got one other question.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be doing Umrah first, and I've taken on board what you've told us as our Imam, and then it's Hajj after.
Yeah.
Now, it comes to the question of shaving your hair. Now, I've never been for Umrah or for Hajj.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm going, and it's with Hajj.
Yeah.
But some have said that the Prophet blesses you 3 times, taking your hair off completely.
Shaving, yes.
Or you could do it by you leaving some hair on and then going to do Hajj. I think you've already answered this for me. And then shaving it fully after. It is okay to take your whole hair off and then just run it with the blade after Hajj.
Whichever time you shave, you'll get that fazilat of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam making dua 3 times.
Okay.
For those who will shave. So if you trim first time, you'll get the fazilat of the dua once. And the next time when you shave, you'll get the fazilat of dua that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made 3 times for those who shave.
Jazakallah khair. Nice to meet you, Imam.
Barakallah. Ji.
What are the farais of Hajj?
What are the farais of Hajj? The main part of Hajj that's been mentioned by the scholars is to be in the state of ihram, because without ihram you cannot do Hajj. To remain in Arafat for the time, even if it's for a short while, because Wukuf Arafat is part of the Hajj. And the third and main pillar of Hajj is Tawaf Ziyarat. Without Tawaf Ziyarat, at least 4 circles, as I mentioned, your Hajj will not be completed. So these are the main elements of Hajj that one should observe. Ji.
Assalamu alaikum, Imam Sahib. Those who do not know me, my name is Abdul Majid Parkar. I don't know whether I'm going for Hajj, but still I have got the belief and intention to go. Make dua, everyone, that the door should be open, inshallah. I got a couple of questions. One is, if somebody leaves before sunset on 12th from Mina for Makkah, so it leaves 21 pebbles in his bag. So what to do with those 21?
What to do with the pebbles?
Yeah, remaining
the
pebbles.
Remaining one.
Yeah, can we throw there, or what to do with them?
To be honest, I have not come across. So I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is a precautionary things to take 70. If you do not leave before sunset on 12th, then you have to stone it on 13th. But lot of people, they leave on 12th. So what they do with
Most
those?
of the people leave on 12th.
Most of them. So what to do
भाई,
with?
आपके सामने कभी ऐसा आया है मामला? तो उसका क्या हल निकाला था आपने? मीना में ही छोड़ दें।
मीना में ही पैबल छोड़ दें,
जी।
मक्का मत लेकर आए। कि जब भी आपने शैतान कंकरी मार ली है, जो भी पैबल आपके पास है वहाँ ही छोड़ दें।
मेरा ख्याल है कि ये मसला कोई क्या कहते हैं, कोई इन टर्म्स ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंस अगर बच जाए तो वही जो उधर ही छोड़ दें।
जैसे आप मार रहे हैं कंकरी, तो आपके कोई 2 मिस हो जाती है, तो आपके पास एक बचती नहीं है, तो आप नीचे से नहीं उठा सकते।
हाँ, उधर से जी। दिस इज वन
जब भी आप 7 कंकरी मारने जाए तो 9 कंकरी लेकर से जी, 2 एक्स्ट्रा लेकर जाए जी, उसमें कोई अर्थ नहीं है। अगर आपकी एक मिस हो जाती है, आप देखेंगे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आपकी कंकरी, आपने लाखों कंकरी जा रही है वहाँ पर, लेकिन आपकी कंकरी आपको नजर आएगी। ये अल्लाह ताला की कुदरत है। आपकी कंकरी आपको नजर आएगी, आपको पता चलेगा कि कंकरी गिरी है कि नहीं गिरी है। और लेकिन अगर आपको पता है कि नहीं गिरी है, तो फिर आपने दूसरी कंकरी मार दी।
ठीक है जी।
One more question, if you don't mind, please.
जी।
हज के एहराम से कभी बाहर निकलना है, after tawaf ziyara یا after the
You
قربانی
can do before.
after shaving
قربانی آپ کی ہو گئی,
قربانی اور شیونگ بھی
ہو
ہوگی,
گئی, you can come out.
we can come out
جی,
before the
but
tawaf
اس میں
زیارہ.
یہ بھی لکھا ہے کہ اگر کوئی احرام پہن کے بھی طواف زیارت کرتا
زیارہ
ہے
کریں.
تو اس میں بھی حرج نہیں ہے, لیکن وہ احرام سے نکل سکتا ہے جب قربانی اور شیونگ اس کی ہو جائے.
جی اچھی بات ہے, جزاک اللہ خیر.
جی
احرام سے نکلنے کی جو شرط ہے, احرام سے نکلنے کی جو شرط ہے وہ قربانی ہے,
قربانی.
سمجھا کہ نہیں؟
جی
تو اگر آپ گروپ میں جا رہے ہیں تو آپ نے اگر آپ کے گروپ لیڈر کو پیسے دیے ہیں تو آپ میک شور کریں کہ اس نے قربانی کر دی ہے, پھر آپ اپنا احرام کھولیں. اور اگر آپ نے پیسے جمع کرا دیے ہیں وہاں پر, وہ گورنمنٹ کے وہاں پر وہ آپ کو ٹائم دے دیں گے کہ بھائی یہ ٹائم پہ آپ کے, اس کی کوئی گارنٹی نہیں ہے. میں آپ کو ابھی بتا دیتا ہوں,
جی
کیونکہ بہت دفعہ ایسا ہوا ہے کہ وہاں پر وہ جو قربانی کرنے والے آتے ہیں, ٹرکش آتے ہیں, جو دوسرے آتے ہیں, وہ اسٹرائک پہ چلے جاتے ہیں. ایسے بھی ہوا کہ دو تین دن ان لوگوں نے قربانی ہی نہیں کی اور لوگوں نے وہ احرام کھول دیا. سمجھا کہ نہیں؟
جی
یہ آپ نہیں کہہ سکتے بھائی یہ ان کا قصور ہے, نہیں, یہ آپ کا اپنا فرض ہے, کیونکہ آپ اپنا فرض ادا کرنے کے لیے کیے ہیں, تو آپ کا فرض ہے کہ آپ اپنی قربانی اپنے ہاتھ سے کریں.
جی
یا آپ کو پتا ہو کہ جس کے اوپر آپ رلائی کر رہے ہیں کہ وہ گارنٹیڈ ہے کہ آپ کا جو ہے وہ, اگر آپ نے یہ کام نہیں کیا اور اگر آپ نے قربانی ہونے سے پہلے آپ کا احرام کھول دیا تو ساری زندگی آپ احرام کی حالت میں رہیں گے. میں نے ایک کتاب میں پڑھا تھا, اس میں یہی لکھا کہ اگر ایسا ہوا تو آپ ساری زندگی اپنے بیوی کے ساتھ بھی اگر جمع کریں گے تو وہ آپ زنا کریں گے, اور اولاد پیدا ہوگی تو وہ حرام کی اولاد پیدا ہوگی. یہ بہت جو ہے نا, یہ مسئلہ جو قربانی کا ہے نا, یہ بہت ڈیپ ہے, سمجھا کہ نہیں؟ یہ آپ کے سارے فرائض جو ہو جائیں گے, لیکن احرام سے نکلنے کی جو شرط ہے وہ قربانی ہے. اس لیے پلیز جو بھی جا رہے ہیں یہ دھیان رکھیں کہ آپ کی قربانی ہوئی ہے کہ نہیں, یہ میک شور کریں. سمجھے گا, اگر ان لوگوں نے آپ کو, اس میں کوئی فرق نہیں پڑتا کہ اگر ان لوگوں نے کہا کہ دن کو 12 بجے آپ کی قربانی ہو جائے گی, آپ 12 بجے مت کھولیں, 12:30 بجے احرام مت کھولیں, رات کو 10 بجے کھول لیں. سمجھے کہ نہیں؟ جہاں آپ نے 3 دن باندھا ہے 3.5 دن باندھ رہے, کوئی فرق نہیں پڑے گا.
جزاک
سمجھے
اللہ. السلام علیکم بھائی.
Yeah.
The conclusion, I think, two things we should take from here. First thing is pebbles. If you cannot pick from the jamarat where you are stoning the shaitan, you cannot pick from there and use them. You have to pick from Muzdalifah, which you have done and you have spared. Second thing, especially about qurbani, once qurbani is done, you can get out of ihram. But we also understand a person can do so much. If those who are responsible, they have given you the time that suppose 12 o'clock your qurbani will be done. If a person uses that and comes out at 12:30, then if they haven't done the qurbani, they will be responsible according to Sharia, because they are the ones who promised you. So those who promise you, you take their words, and if they don't fulfill the promise, then on the day of Qiyamah, they will be held responsible. So یہ دو چیزیں دھیان میں رکھیں.
اگر معاف کرنا
جی
اگر اس سے پہلے قربانی سے پہلے اگر یہ احرام سے نکل گئے تو اس کا دم دے کے
اس کو دم دینا پڑے گا, دم دینا پڑے گا اس سے. جی جی
دم دینا.
جی تقریباً حج کے جتنے بھی وہ ہیں مسٹیکس ہیں, اس کے پینلٹی ہے, یا تو صدقہ ہے یا تو پھر اس کے اوپر دم ہے, تو اس سے اٹ ڈز فلفل اٹ. اوکے, یوٹیوب پہ one of the brother is asking, would it be possible to clarify the entering of the state of ihram from UK? Acha, this is something which I did mention at the beginning. So for the brother who is listening online, that we put ihram at the airport. If you want to, if you don't want to, you can put it on flight. If you put at the airport, do wuzu. If you don't have the wuzu, put the ihram on, pray 2 rakats, and then on your flight, when they make the announcement of miqats coming, then you make the intention for Umrah. That, oh Allah, I make the intention for Umrah because you are doing Hajj Tamattu. If you want to do Hajj Qiran, which is Sunnah, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did Hajj Qiran, then you can do that niyyah. But the difference is, once you complete your Umrah, if you are doing Hajj Qiran, you reach to Makkah, you complete your Umrah, you cannot come out of your Ihram then. You have to remain in your Ihram. All the boundaries of Ihram will remain on you. And then after Hajj, on 10th of Zul Hajj, after Qurbani, you will come out of your Ihram, if that makes sense. Yasir bhai, any question? जी जी
ये अगर आपकी डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट है,
हाँ हाँ डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट का जी जी
अगर आपकी डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट नहीं है तो आपको एयरपोर्ट से बांधने की जरूरत नहीं
और मैंने बता दिया कि वो अगर स्टॉप ओवर है
है। आप ओवर है तो अपने आप वहां से बांधो।
वो स्टॉप ओवर पे भी आप बांध सकते हैं इफ़ यू हैव स्टॉप ओवर सपोज इन Cairo or so, but nowadays I think they're only using Saudi Airlines if I'm not wrong. Majority Saudi. Mixed. अच्छा
I given my
जी
I given my documents all for departure.
जी जी
He told me that they're going to stop one flight, go Turkey or somewhere else.
yeah.
Then after
From the Saudi. Yeah, so if you have stopover, and I think in general, if it's Turkey or Cairo or places like that, you can do ihram from there. But I think about Cairo, I would warn you not to wear ihram there. It's very dirty, it's very filthy there, and it looks like you're better off putting your ihram from the Heathrow if you are leaving from here. Ji. To a question, do the rules of ihram apply, or do they apply after you make intention? The intention makes the ihram start of ihram. So if you have intended on the flight, that's when the pabandi of ihram and all the rules of ihram will be implemented. Jazakallah. Jazakallah, khas taur pe all the brothers who have joined today, our youngsters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your journey successful one, and may Allah take us all one day together in the Holy Land. Allahumma salli wa sallim barik ala sayyidina wa habibina wa maulana Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathira. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, accept our today's gathering with your mercy and shower your mercy on all of us, our houses, our businesses, our rizq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all success in this dunya and in the hereafter, especially the du'as for those brothers and those sisters and families who are embarking this great journey of lifetime. Ya Allah, make this journey the great and successful one. Ya Allah, give them sabr and ajr on their sabr. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bless them with many more of such journeys and give them blessings in their rizq and sustenance. Ya Allah, अपने करम से हम सबको भी हरमैन तय्यबैन की बार बार मकबूल तरीन हाज़री नसीब फरमा. सल्लल्लाहु ta'ala ala खैरि खल्क़िही व नूरि अर्शिही मुहम्मदिन व आलिहि व सहबिही अजमईन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन. One request to all the brothers who are going, please remember us, all the Maulanas from your masjid, all the namazis, all the people who are working for the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your du'as, and present our salam in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum.